Are you ready to upgrade your mindset and continue supporting your healing journey? Join the collective today. This membership gives you access to meditations, healing tools, guest healers, and manifestation workshops. Join today for just $44 a month and start manifesting more abundance in your life. Hello, and welcome back to Breathe More. For today's episode, I wanted us to talk about one of my favorite things to do, which is setting intentions. So, a little backstory and something that I'm currently navigating, where basically since last year, February, I found out that there was a leak in my house, like storms, bad weather, and there was a very obvious, massive leak where water was coming through a light fixture and my walls in the bathroom. And it turns out that there was mold in my house, which is what got me really sick, actually for years, and didn't know that that's what was causing all of my mysterious symptoms. This will be a whole other episode, by the way, where I go into detail and we talk about what mold does to your health and to your mental health. But this is the start of the journey of me not having a permanent place to stay, not having a home. Basically, I have been, since last February of 2023, I have been bouncing around to different places. First, it was with the hope that the mold remediation would clean the mess and that there would be no more mold in the house. Well, it didn't work. Like I was still having symptoms in it. We found other places. It was a mess. And then I was trying to find a place to move into in LA and just nothing was clicking. I wasn't getting accepted, or it was really competitive, or things were outside of my budget. And during all of this time, I would manifest like house sitting opportunities. And so the last one that I got was to come here to Idlewild. This was in September, right after my Sedona retreat. And so I came and I spent 6 beautiful weeks in the fall in Idlewild. I've been coming here for the last 5 years to house and pet sit for the same friend. But it was the first time that I was here during the fall, and it was beautiful. The weather was gorgeous. You can actually see the leaves of trees changing color. And I felt really good. Like I started to meet people, had community already. And so I decided that I was going to move to Idlewild. And so that was my next mission, to try to find a place to move to up here in Idlewild. Well, that in itself has also been challenging, where there isn't a big rental market in Idlewild. It's a town of like 3,000 people, very small. Most people either own their home or they do short-term rentals, or it's just a second or third home. And it just sits empty most of the year. And the amount of rentals available is very small. And a lot of the properties up here also weren't built for full-time living, like they're cabins. And so there's no closets, or they're small, or they're kind of funky. And I don't want that. So I set a very clear intention that if I'm going to move and leave LA, which I never thought I would do, I thought I would be in LA for the rest of my life, that if I was going to leave LA, my life needed to be upgraded. Like where I was living needed to be beautiful. I wanted peace. At first, I didn't know exactly like how I wanted to look like, but I came across this one house and it was perfect, beautiful, completely updated, private, had trees all around it, while still having enough sunlight, which was really important since I work from home. It had a hot tub, and more importantly, it was within my budget. And when I was talking to the owner of the property, it was an Airbnb whose permit was expired. But anyways, they were a little unsure because they also just had family and friends using the house, and they didn't really need the additional income. And so I was going to settle on a different property. And then again, I set the clear intention where I told the universe, I'm like, no, I want this house with the hot tub in the forest. Like, this is the house that I want. And sure enough, like an hour after I set this intention, the owner reached out to me and told me, okay, my husband and I are ready to rent. You can move in January 1st, which is exactly what my timeline was. And I've been here for the last 3 months. I have been given notice that I need to vacate because I need the house back. And so once again, I've been in the search for my next house. And once again, it's been challenging, and the stuff that's on the market doesn't work for me. And so I've been having to use my network and also just do posts like on the Facebook group. That's how this small town communicates with each other, like writing on bulletin boards. And so I've been taking the actions while still holding the vision of what it is that I want. And again, I want a beautiful home. I want to feel expansive. Lately, I had been visualizing like a view, or I really don't want to give up the hot tub. So that's something that I'm like grieving. I've been grieving it because I'm like, no, it's been so therapeutic. Like I literally go in it every single day at the end of my day to just release my day, ground my energy, and just rest my body. So it's been a lot of back and forth with folks. As I mentioned, a lot of these homes are just second homes, weekend homes. And so people weren't really thinking of renting, but when they saw my post, they were considering it. Well, like the places that I wanted were not available after all. The owners decided, no, we're going to sell it instead, or we're just going to keep it for ourselves. There was this one house where at this point I was down to like my last option, and it wasn't perfect. It was going to be settling. And I was just trying to convince myself, I'm like, all right, this is just going to be month to month. I'm calling in my long-term home. And this is just a place where I'm going to land as an in-betweener. I'm not going to make it mean anything more than it is. But deep down inside, like I did not want to move in there. And then also the owners, they were nervous from the beginning of me communicating with them about renting. So they had told me, I had met with them. They had told me that I seemed great, that they would want to rent to me. Then they started to ask for more stuff like references. They call my references. I thought it was a done deal. And then a week ago, they pulled out. They said that they weren't going to rent to me after all, after talking to their family and friends, and their family and friends discouraged them from renting their cabin. And so 2 weeks before I have to move out of this house, I have no place to go. I had a meltdown. I freaked out. I was scared. I was angry because I felt like they wasted my time and the people that they called to see if I would be a good tenant. And so my process is I let myself feel my emotions, validate whatever came up for me, whatever got triggered. And then I go back to reconnecting with my intention. So again, my intention is to have a beautiful home with a hot tub. And this time I wanted a view. So again, immediately I reached out to everyone that I know, updated them on my situation, and I got some leads. There's this perfect house that I love. It has everything that I want. It has a hot tub. It has the view. It's private. It has land. It has 2 acres. It's outside of town. That wasn't something that I was considering because I do like being walking distance from town. But since it's going to be summertime, I don't have to worry right now for the snow or driving in the snow, which still freaking scares me. So anyways, went through the motions again, met the owner, they called my references, and then I just got word that they approved me to rent their house. It's just going to be temporary for 3 months. But this was such a reminder to me of, again, the power of setting an intention, the power of trusting and surrendering, and also doing your part. Like I wasn't just sitting there and meditating and visualizing. No, I also took action. And this is part of my manifesting blueprint that I teach my clients in the Dream Bigger Mastermind, and also my clients who I work with one-on-one, where it's so important. I'm all about living an intentional life from the time that I was a child, even before I knew about setting goals and manifesting. I would decide what it is that I wanted, and I would do whatever I could. More importantly, I was fully aligned and believed that I could receive it and that I was deserving of it, and it would happen. And so it's always been kind of natural for me to do that. and just how I approach life. But also, things get scary and things are out of your control. And with me being over a year of not having a permanent home where I feel safe, where I feel like I'm able to anchor and nest again and have a place where my body can fully detox from the mold toxicity in my body. It's been exhausting and it's been draining. And so many emotions have come up around that as well, like grief and not understanding why is this unfolding like this. I'm sure in the future it will all make sense, but right now it just feels hard and it's taking a lot of my time and energy, and it's been a lot of back and forth, and the process has not been fun. But I'm so excited that in the end, I did get what I wanted, what I had set the intention for, what I manifested. And so I wanted to share this with you to remind you to not give up. Whatever it is that you want, I believe, I know that you can manifest it, that you can receive it. There might be some movement of energy that needs to happen. There might need some reprogramming as well and a change of mindset. And it might take longer to get what you truly want. But don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Hold on to that vision. Because at the end of the day, like, we got this life to live. We might as well create it in a way and experience it in a way that will feel good to us, that will light us up, that will make us feel abundant and happy and safe. This recently happened with one of my mastermind members, where he had set the intention that he needed a new job. And the place that he had also manifested, like I think it was 2 years ago or maybe a year ago, it was fine, but it ended up evolving into something that he wasn't expecting. And so he realized, oh, I have already outgrown this job and I need something new. Also, I just want a place where I feel calmer, less stress, and where I can make more money. And so last week in our session, he shared that intention. He's like, all right, I'm looking for a new job and it feels urgent. Again, he was very clear on what he wanted in this job. And he reported back a week later that he already manifested, had interviewed, gone through the process, had negotiated the contract, and is starting a new job in 2 weeks. It was also a job that he didn't apply for. He had seen the listing, but he didn't think he was qualified for it. And a recruiter reached out and said, actually, no, your skill sets do translate to this. And so that's how he got the interview and quickly moved through the different people he needed to talk to. He was told that the salary that they have is non-negotiable, like either take it or leave it. He didn't accept that. His mind did not go into the scarcity mindset. He said, that doesn't work for me. And if you have someone else internally that you want to hire at that rate, great. Well, they came back and they're like, all right, we'll give you everything that you need. So I wanted to share this example as well, because first of all, it can happen that quickly when you're clear and when it's just the right time. And also when you don't go into fear and scarcity, it will unfold for you. It will happen for you. I wouldn't say that I went necessarily into fear by settling to the first house that then pulled out, where I really didn't have any more leads. Like, I had exhausted everything from what was publicly posted to my own leads that I had come to, my network, my community who was sending me stuff. And so I thought that that was it. And at that point, I needed to move out in a month. So I did have a little bit of time, but I got work to do. I got other stuff to do. Like, I don't want to spend any more time looking for a house. It had become so time consuming. And universe was like, but that's not what you want. And even when I was getting closer, I was like, oh, I really don't want to move in there. But I was trying to convince myself. And so when I got the news that they were backing out, yes, as I shared, I felt all of these emotions, but I also knew that I was being divinely protected. Who knows what type of experience I would have had that gone forward? Probably would have been fine, but at the end of the day, it's not what I wanted. And so the universe changed directions and said, hey, that's not the path for you. We're going this way. And this is going to be a really fun, beautiful house for you to spend the summer, to continue to wait for your long-term house to become available, because I also feel that that's one of the reasons why I haven't manifested my long-term house here, because it's still not available. And so in the meantime, I'm bouncing around and experiencing different neighborhoods and beautiful homes and fine-tuning even more what I really want in a home and what's important. And yeah, it's been exhausting. I wish that I was already there. All of my stuff is in storage too, which is, I've never had stuff in storage. That's a whole other adjustment of just kind of learning and living with very few stuff, which has been really liberating too. But I mean, there's nothing like having your own stuff as well. I'm not someone that has a lot, but the things that I do buy, again, are also intentional and serve a purpose. And then when I outgrow stuff, I love giving stuff away. It brings me so much joy. But anyways, it's been an adjustment of just bouncing around. And I have my moments of like sadness and my moments of frustration. But then again, I go back to holding on to the vision, to the excitement of like, once I finally receive it, it's going to feel so good and it's going to be so worth it. So if you're in a place right now where you're finding yourself settling, where you're finding yourself maybe even giving hope, I hope that this episode encourages you to not give up. And I hope that you attend one of my breathwork classes or that you reach out, join the collective so that we can move energy to help you reconnect with your goals, with your desires, and help you manifest them. And also, I invite you, I still have one spot left for my upcoming spring retreat in Idlewild, California, which is happening this Friday. I can't believe that it's already here. And we're going to be doing this work. So it's going to be like an intensive, but also fun, an intensive for us to manifest. And so the retreat, we're going to start with moving energy, clearing the old, clearing what's weighing you down, clearing the fear, clearing other people's projections and their fears and their limitations from your space so that you can feel grounded, have the clarity of what it is that you want. And then we're going to use some magic to amplify the intention of your desires. We're going to be going on a guided hike, which is a loop that I do about 3 to 4 times a week. It's the place where I move energy, where I manifest, where I process my emotions. It's a beautiful, easy hike, lots of trees, animals, and then we go to the top of the mountain where there's beautiful boulders that I like to rest on and lay on and do breath work. And that's where I visualize and manifest and journal. And so at the top, Edith is going to be creating a crystal grid to hold our desires. And so we're going to be manifesting up there. We're going to be doing aerial yoga as an embodiment practice of what it means to trust yourself, to trust the equipment, and also to surrender while having fun, and also doing some inner child play. It's going to be so good. I am so excited. We have a great group of dreamers and cycle breakers joining us. And I hope that you're the last person to join us. Send me an email, send me a DM to claim your spot, and we'll get you all sorted. It's a short 2-hour drive from LA or San Diego. I can't wait. So don't give up, folks. Keep dreaming. Hold on to that vision. I believe in you. We can manifest a beautiful, abundant, healthy, authentic life. And I'm excited for us. And I'm also just grateful that you're part of my community and that together we are changing the frequency of the world, creating an authentic life for ourselves, healing, raising our vibration, because that has a ripple effect in the world. So thank you for being here. And I will connect with you next week. Bye.